Greetings and welcome back everyone. If you like these daily crypto analysis videos, hit the like button and subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends to help the channel grow. I'm CryptoSnake, back again to discuss some Bitcoin analysis. Gonna open up this video on the daily chart on Coinbase, as we have posted a bearish SAR above the daily candle, which I was expecting, and we saw a very massive price drop yesterday. And if we flip over to the Heiken Ashi, we have confirmed that money is in fact leaving the market now. The previous few dumps we received red candles on the Heiken Ashi, and we are now posting a red candle for this dump. As for volume for Bitcoin, volume has hit an all-time low for this year, and as I've been saying for the previous 3 or so videos, we are due for a massive move here, and I am leaning towards it being a breakdown rather than a break up. Down on the RSI, we are still moving for a downtrend. We have broken the support at around 47, and the Chiku span has started to dive into the price. Now when the Chiku span is within price, it does indicate ranging, but because of the degree and angle that we're heading down here, it's very likely to strike through, which is what's giving us this small little reprieve right now to not dump all the way down to 6,200. Now, I did lay out in the other video that we would find some support on the daily Kijinsen that has been absolutely broken. I also laid out a position of support on the daily SAR. Now that we've posted a bearish SAR, that support has been absolutely destroyed, which is why we saw this plunge all the way down to the 64.52 level as we smashed right through that daily SAR. Now this SAR moving bearish is actually a very big thing. If we take a look back in the chart, historically when Bitcoin posts an SAR dot on the daily in a bearish pattern, it's followed by a massive downtrend. You see massive downtrend. There's very few instances of this not occurring. The only instance I could find was this small instance of a bearish SAR dot at the top of this peak, which it did still break down and then broke right back up. I don't think we're going to be seeing that. I think this will actually drive us down to the 6,200 level, possibly even lower depending on where your perspective is on Bitcoin. Moving down to the 4-hour chart, we broke through the 4-hour cloud, and the Kijinsen broke through with a bearish TK crossover, which I did alert my VIPs on. We broke down, and we started side trending to break back up to the 4-hour Kijinsen once more. We broke above it, and now we corrected back down to it. Again, we're kind of teetering around the 4-hour Kijinsen. There's no indication that the Kijinsen on the 4-hour is going to start ascending, as the Chiku span has been rejected from the price, indicating that we are going to break down a lot further from this. Just before having this TK crossover on the 4-hour, we were rejected back off of the 54 RSI, which we fell back into this range between the 54 and 48 level. We then smashed through 3 support levels on the RSI down to the 36, had a little bit of a bounce, and then a bounce up to the 47 where we've broken down once more. If we smash through this 41 RSI, I think the plunge will continue, and I'm definitely staying away from opening any long positions right now, because that would be gambling against the overall market trend, which is not safe. I believe we did see the test off of the upper pennant target, which I've drawn out here, and we have broken down massively. We may come up to test it one more time before breaking down further, but for the moment indicators are all pulling south. Now one thing that does concern me is if we flip over to the Binance chart, there's a very large price discrepancy of about $100 between Binance and Coinbase, which is very rare to happen. Binance is still up about $100. It actually has not passed through the daily Kijinsen yet, and it's still riding relatively high. And we also have not posted a bearish SAR dot. However, on many other exchanges and other charts, we have posted this daily SAR, so I do believe that Binance is just kind of lagging behind because of the low volume, and it should follow suit. Right now, it is kind of keeping Bitcoin propped up for the moment. Once it posts an SAR dot above, I expect this price to break down very rapidly. However, if it posts another bullish SAR dot, we could be due for a little bit more side trending before coming to the end of this potential pennant position. The smaller pennant obviously marks out these higher lows that we've been forming, and it is actually coming to an apex here as well, and I do expect that to break down downwards rather than upwards. And if we flip back to the Coinbase chart, you can see that a little bit better. The upper pennant here mixed with the smaller pennant that I just drew out would indicate that we would come over here and price break at the 65.95 at the highest. The daily cloud, however, is going to offer a bit of resistance at the 65.55. If we do break back into the cloud, I don't see us going very far before breaking back down. If anything, it's going to be a bull trap. Now, a lot of people watching this on the hourly are starting to panic, saying, oh my god, it's going back up, it's going back up. Now keep in mind, it is resurging a little bit here, but if we go back and take a look at the daily chart, the first red candle that we normally have breaks back down and then wicks back up, breaks down, wicks back up before another massive plunge. So I'm not all too concerned by seeing a little bit of green on the lower time frames, but the lack of synergy with Coinbase and Binance, Bittrex and BitMEX is throwing a little bit of a monkey wrench into the TA. So before I get on with the rest of my technical analysis and overview a couple of other coins, if you'd like to join my free Telegram for insights on the market, including Bitcoin, altcoins, and a sneak peek to my personal entries and exits, join t.me/cryptosnakepit. Links directly to the chat and a link on how to install Telegram, which is a free chat program I use to communicate with my VIPs, in the description below. I've also launched my official Twitter, so follow me at CryptoSnakeVIP to get regular updates. We've also been pulling some solid gains in the VIP this month on leverage trades and altcoins, but here's a preview of the gains we made last month. I'm also getting pumped for this looming bull run. I've given out a list of potentially discount altcoins I plan to ride for the bull run to my VIPs, as well as some hot altcoin swing positions every week. If you want information on how to get into the VIP group to be part of these trades, the information is also in the description below. As for the overall market health today, the Bitcoin dominance again has barely changed, been staying within the 52 to 53%, which means altcoin season is still very, very far away. The overall market cap dropped about $3 billion in that last drop, nothing massive. However, the altcoin market is suffering very slightly from the dump as well. It's kind of been up and then down as the price has resurged. I have officially tethered my Bitcoin, which my VIPs got an alert on as soon as I tethered, as I do expect this Bitcoin dump to continue down to the 6,200 or so range, possibly a little further, possibly a little higher. But as you may or may not know, the altcoin market is normally affected by that very heavily, sometimes up to 2 times as much in the fall. So if Bitcoin drops about 5%, the altcoin market might drop between 7.5 to 10%. Moving on to Bitcoin shorts. Bitcoin shorts are currently descending, and we have gotten out of that danger zone on the RSI level, where we normally break down around the 80 or 70 level on the RSI. We're now currently trending at the 58 and downtrending slightly, which means the short squeeze has already occurred, which was shown on the chart by that large green candle. Now that the pressure has been alleviated, I don't foresee us hitting another short squeeze for a little while. This may continue to downtrend as the price moves upwards, but I think the overall technical analysis right now will stay in play. As for Bitcoin longs, we may see an increase in the longs here, leading to another long squeeze, which could drop the price further. Moving back to the hourly, I just want to show this bull trap here. If we have another bull trap, that would lure in a lot more longs, which would likely lead to another breakdown. I don't see this price coming up and breaking the 6,600 level. So if we got up to that, we would very likely be rejected by a long squeeze, breaking back down with force through this pennant. And this pennant position that we have been holding, when we break out of it, we are going to break down with force because it has been a long time coming down and testing this pennant position. Now, I was asked to take a look at Ripple again. Ripple, as you know, was pumped absolutely ridiculously. People jumped on the FOMO train somewhere around here and got absolutely wrecked on the dump. Don't ever jump on a coin that's rising this fast. You're almost always going to get burned. Typical of pump and dumps, it will come up, it'll come right back down. People will stay in this position here, saying, oh, no, it's going to peak again. It's going to peak again higher this time. It's going to peak again higher. And then it just continually, slowly downtrends. About this point in the trend, they'll start capitulating. They'll decide, all right, well, maybe I should take this 50% losses. The capitulation continues until probably around halfway through the dump range, and then we're going to break down through this cloud. I would expect the price to equalize somewhere around this area. It may break down further, though. For the moment, I'm definitely staying away from longing this position, even though the technical indicators do suggest that the price should increase up to the daily Kijinsen. We have had a daily TK crossover indicating that the overall trend is bearish, so if anything, more reliably on this position, I would go for a low leverage short and just let it sit and let it gain momentum over time for the final drop. And if we move down to the 4-hour chart on Ripple, you can see that we are actually staying with the 4-hour Kijinsen rather reliably, so I don't see a peak up to that daily happening anytime soon. I think the daily will come down to meet it. Right now, we are just heavily downtrending, and I expect this downtrend to continue. As for Ethereum, I was long-term bullish on. I'm still fairly long-term bullish, but for the moment, I am going short-term bearish as we are moving for a possible TK crossover in the bearish direction on the daily. And the SAR has continued to post daily bearish SARs. SAR, as you may or may not know, is the stop and reverse indicator and indicates a reversal of the trend. So we had a nice bullish SAR moving up to this position and followed by a bearish SAR on this position. Now, one thing to note here is that the momentum on this is not very aggressive, so we could very well post another bullish SAR, be propped up off of this potential bearish TK crossover. It will be negated and then break up from here. But for the moment, I'm a little hesitant on entering any position on Ethereum. If we do have a TK crossover breaking down from here, or if Bitcoin dumps any further, it's likely to take Ethereum with it back down to the 182 or possibly even down to the 150 level. It really depends on how Bitcoin performs and how this TK crossover plays out. Now, if you guys want me to take a look at any other coins, please by all means mention it in the comments. I'll take a look at it in the next video. But for now, let's get on to the news. MasterCard Patent hints at plan for multi-currency blockchains. This is just another bullish story to add to the bullish space, which is why I believe that this bull run is going to be absolutely massive, which is a widely known name is now adopting the blockchain. This isn't a massive story that's going to stop us from dumping down to the 6,200 level. However, it adds to the bullish stories that we've been receiving all year, such as the Border Patrol using blockchain, the Navy using blockchain, Fortune 500 companies looking into blockchain, actual countries looking into blockchain, and even countries looking for cryptocurrency replacements for their own currency. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. Anyone who tells you that cryptocurrency is going to die, people who say that it's the dot-com bubble, are absolutely misguided. This technology does have a real world use, and it is being adopted around the world right now, especially with the story that I covered last time with the food industry. I think that is going to be a massive boon for blockchain. So as I've said, I'm very, very excited for this next bull run. I think it's going to be absolutely volatile and absolutely just send Bitcoin to the moon. Taking a look at another story over on Bloomberg, crypto industry on the brink of an implosion, researcher says. I just want to throw this perspective out here. While I don't agree with it, it's interesting to take a look at what other people are looking at in the crypto space. Now, they're predicting a crypto meltdown because they drew a bearish wedge on the daily for Bitcoin, and they're suggesting that we're going to have a breakup at this position and break all the way down probably to the 2000 levels, which I think is fairly unrealistic. I have tried to chart out their wedge position here, but it's invalidated on so many positions where we just never touch the top or bottom of the wedge. Also to note is that a descending wedge normally breaks out into a bullish direction, not into a bearish direction. So even if this indication was true, it would actually suggest that the bull run is even larger than we expected. For now, I'm still leaning towards my pennant position and the overall market cycle to suggest that Bitcoin is very likely to come down to this 6,200 level, potentially break through for a little while, smash back up, trend up towards the end of this pennant, continue in this range, restricting, building up some pressure, breaking up into a massive pump before coming down and crashing on this trend line once again, forming another higher low at 6,300. And continuing to form higher lows as we continue throughout the year. So as for my overview, bullish long term on Bitcoin, short term very, very bearish. I think we are going to see an utter collapse in the next day or so, if not by the end of today, to crash down to the 6,200 level. And as soon as I see that occurring, I will give that alert out to my VIPs. So that's it for today's technical analysis. If you do make any trades today, I wish you luck. Please join me in my free Telegram at t.me/cryptosnakebit, where I give up to the minute updates on Bitcoin and my personal exits and entries for the private VIP group. Also included is our private VIP chat, where you can chat with many of our experienced savage traders, get personal technical analysis from me, and answer any questions you might have. This is Crypto Snake, signing off.